morning, ladies and gentlemen, for Taiwan and the Asia, and good afternoon and evening to the friends in Europe and America. This is Daniel Cheng from RTN, Redefined Tourism Mixer. Let me briefly introduce about our organization and myself first. First of all, I call myself a passionate Asia tourism promoter and educator with service in tourism industry for 12 years. I've been in a travel agency in the Hawaii Tourism Authority for destination marketing. And then I start up my own business for RTM and the other some local tourist brands. So RTM is a community of travel startups and industry know-how think tank. Founded in 2014, we have over 2,400 industry members, over 15,000 followers on social media, 100 consultants on board, 300 plus events and seminars, connected with 25 markets in the world. And also we have this kind of like media role to create articles, some analysis and some announcements for the industry updates, over 2,500 articles. And also we have educational products since incubating the talents, teaching people, how to do right business in travel industry is always our mission. So we have over 20 plus educational products and programs. Our vision is to become an Asia travel entrepreneur incubator. So before pandemic, we've been to a lot of different cities and the countries to attend those exhibitions and conferences. So this is in 2019 December. We invited over 15 country speakers to Taipei, and we host a very big conference to share, exchange ideas about the global tourism development. Okay, now back to our sharing today. The reason we want to have this online seminar with you guys in Taiwan, in Asia, and in the world is because when approaching 2021 year end, as well as the second anniversary of COVID-19, we have summarized several topics and trends toward upcoming year that are worth paying extra attention to. So if you're looking for Taiwan travel market, new business opportunities and expecting to get connected with entrepreneurs that still remain, enthusiastic and with great potential, it would be the not to miss out chance to stay with us for the following hour. Pandemic situation under control, enhancing technology getting implemented, innovative local tours developed to new level. Taiwan travel is gradually picking up again from devastation of pandemic breakout in May this year. So as an RTN, as an travel industry know-how think tank and an educator, we hope to keep you posted not only about status quo of Taiwan destination, but also maybe some inspiration and thoughts for the region. So in this seminar, we called it 5+3 business opportunities, 5 main happenings over the past year and good reference for the next, as well as 3 emerging trends we could keep observing for long term. Okay, first of all, we want to have this first topic called the wild. So the wild composed of outdoor, water, and island destination. Let me explain why. One of my very good friends, Mr. Alex Ma, he is a previous hostel founder and KOL digital marketing company owner. He started his first outdoor project after pandemic. As we all know that the pandemic fear has strongly pushed tourists away from urban areas. So camping or glamping become really popular, really hot. So Alex is now constantly living in a mountain, handling this glamping site, and wrote down a few takeaways for hospitality industry survival. Number 1, he tells me we have to keep light property structure. Okay, we have to keep it light. We have to try to avoid, heavy costs so that we can survive longer. under pandemic, under crisis. Number two, we have to have that ownership of online traffic thanks to your branding effect. So we have to try to, create our own sales channel, try to lift up our branding effect so that the customer come to you, not through others. So number three, low occupancy of OTA. In terms of hospitality, we sell rooms through OTA. It has become a very normal situation. But if we can keep low occupancy of OTA, better between 5% to 10%, that will keep you alive for a better situation. Number four, financial structure able to afford severe impacts. Okay, so like pandemic and COVID-19 or other potential crisis, when it hits, we have a healthy financial structure to fight with that. That would be very helpful. Number five, leverage on digital capability to accelerate traditional model. So always embrace new technology. So in the future, he told me, okay, Alex Ma said, offline experiencing will get more and more mixed, meaning that hotel is not only a place for sleep. Okay, it could be also for dining, for vacationing, for relaxing with available transportation, all together. So it's going to be a tourism spot combination, more unique, that will be rare competitor. The other one about the wild topic is the other one of my best friend. His name is AJ, Mr. AJ Wang. He started this company called KSADNG about 5 years ago. And I think this is a very innovative business model in my perspective. He claims that their role is kind of like water activity agent. So it's an agent to bridge local suppliers and OTA and the channels and charge him by orders, maybe like 15% or 20% per order. So AJ told me that the water activity industry is never that good like these 2 years. So basically 50% to 200% growth thanks to pandemic, because consumers turned to outdoor, turned to domestic market to push up all the sales. So this founder, AJ, he's an expert in tours and water experiences. He helped those independent coach, those independent coach, these people of canoeing, SUP, upstreaming, to connect with OTA such as KKday or Klook. And officially, okay, he turned his agent mission from basically all experiences to water activities specifically during pandemic time. So we can really witness this explosion of water activity sales in Taiwan over the past 2 years specifically. So because of this huge jump. So of course he is not the only one benefited. The other lucky guy and smart guy is called Mr. Dylan Chen, the other friend of mine, the founder of Taiwan Dive. So he also embraced one of the best year after he started up his business around like 10 years ago. So he could even spend most of his time, business time, devoting to charity works, public good stuff for community or developing B corporate, beneficial corporate, etc. So literally, Dylan Chen have spare resources and efforts for branding works right now. But apart from water activity trend, from my view, there's one more key factor determines his success. That is, here you can say, I said it, entry level. Because diving education requires higher technical standard. So his customers are not only tourists, but mostly, diving learners or those diving coaches. So this is the coach to teach coach how to become a professional coach or diving workers. So it just builds up that strength. Okay, so that's the other factor determining his success. So apart from water activity, there's also a huge trend in Taiwan It's called the island heat. The island trend. So a few outer islands around Taiwan also outperformed most domestic destination. So for example, Kinmen, with cultural and architectural cues. Mazu, Mazu with Civil War history. Well, Penghu is strong in natural beauty. Liuqiu enjoys small island vocational atmosphere, while Guishan Island suddenly got super famous due to Milk Sea, colorful water images. Okay, so it's kind of like when you have that boat trip, to the ocean, you can see the different colors of blue, in the water image, and it becomes very beautiful. So numerous KOL and boat trip suppliers are flocking into Guishan Island, around Yilan County, into this area and making it go viral. However, these islands haven't been able to find the sustainable operation model because in wintertime it's too cold to have business or it's too windy to have tourists. So there's only like half year for business, and the other half tourism industry will just shut down the store, left for other temporary business or works, or you just rests. So well, from environmental perspective, I think it sounds not too bad. Okay, you can have your environment, your business rest for half a year, but in terms of the business perspective, it might not be that smart. So we're actually suggesting two strategies to cope with this half business problem. The first one is the summertime price could be higher so that we can kind of like control the quality of the tourists and to increase the total revenue, while in the wintertime price might be lower and exploring spatial experience like hot pot or barbecue dining or some local cuisines, or just tell the customers when you come, it's cold, it's windy, so it's not the time for the water, but it's time for you to enjoy tranquility and to like workation or staycation, so that we can add up more possibilities in the wintertime. That was the first strategy we have for the island destination tourism development. And for the second one, we have to be very creative. Maybe we can use the design thinking to upgrade the island tourism quality. For example, engaging artists and designers to try modifying the images and environments, the facilities in the island, so to be more attractive or maybe more meaningful. Like there are often ocean trash problems everywhere, right? So if we could create a huge trash bin in the shape of something cute or symbolic on the beach, like this one, we just imagine that this shark is a trash bin, okay? And so we use this symbolic display to tell people we want to solve the problem of the beach trash, right? So maybe you can help us to fulfill this shark with the trash you pick up on the beach. So actually, people are putting garbages into this art play, and it becomes a motivation, for people to become kind of like, volunteers. So possibly we involve a lot of more potential volunteers with no pay, with no extra efforts, but we can cause a clean beach. So for the island destination, we think being creative, using design thinking might be something, to have the way out. Okay, so we just now finished the number one, the wild topic, and then entering the number two, the unique topic. Here I want to introduce placemaking, the concept of our national policy and DMO, Destination Marketing Organization. So this is the chart RTM created during the pandemic time, and we want to explain post-pandemic alternative M-shaped consumer market. So what does that mean? Okay, so when the curve gets higher, consumer demands more services and better quality. okay, so that they feel more comfortable, right? So they feels better, they will pay more. Okay, so when the curve gets higher, we have that kind of high value situation. So you could see um, either fully staying home or fully going out will become the most valuable areas to invest in our business because we can have higher values in those two areas. So what does it inspire travel industry? Okay, travel is about offline experience in real world. So maybe we talk about the fully staying home model later on, okay? But when emphasizing in-depth tourism in fully outdoor mode, I'll have to share this significant concept with you. It is the placemaking, or the other name by local revitalization. So what is placemaking and local revitalization? Okay, it's a strategic national policy launched in 2019 by Taiwan National Development Council, which is the most influential think tank and government unit for innovation and country progress. So simply speaking, it is to make a suburban area, the countryside area, renovated or revitalized with young people stopped decreasing, okay, existed agricultural industry to keep being upgraded, to keep developed, and then new development on local business and cultures are flourishing, etc. So the end goal of this place-making policy is actually to balance the population and the region, to minimizing gap between the city and the countryside. But so, why do we mention placemaking here when talking about Taiwan Trends 2022? Because it's relevant, okay? Or I should say, um, placemaking will be propelling local tourism, will help it develop. So, in a worsening township, in a very bad situation township, if we could have some like creative tourism products, that might be the solution for brand revival. Okay. Well, on the other hand, if we have a better living environment, that might attract tourists. Then they're supporting the tourism system, to develop. So they are kind of like a mutual beneficial for each other. So under the pandemic, people cannot, go out, cannot do the inbound or outbound business. We can scatter around, the different regions, different towns, and to do good placemaking, making good life, while the local tourism could be developed. So that is a very important thinking of our national government council, to lead Taiwan to the other phase after pandemic. So after pandemic, people turn their focus from, just like what I say, outbound travel to domestic travel. And thanks to the border lockdown, in-island moving become even popular. So more and more entrepreneurs and resources poured into this local place-making works dedicated to the positive changes of villages and towns. So like from the picture, you can see this year, there are proactive private sector opinion leaders integrating a lot of placemaking startup company, local communities and individuals into a big team, and it's called Taiwan Placemaking Alliance, and hosting a very successful festival and forums that just finished the last month. So at the same time, while the private sector is doing good on this part, the government, the public part, is also aware of this, trend that we need to, put the resources and the focus on the local areas. So Taiwan Tourism Bureau also thinks highly of domestic destination marketing and establishing around 9 to 10 middle-scaled DMOs. Okay, so it's called the Destination Marketing Organizations around Taiwan, using government power to inspire local tourism businesses to kind of like redesign marketing strategies and do the joint promotions. So under this trend, local tourism in Taiwan were improved to a new level in terms of quantity and quality. For instance, there is this young travel company called Fish Forests, and it's based in the fishing village of Pingdong. okay, a rural county in southern Taiwan. So they are working with local fishermen and residents, designating diverse tours and experiences among fishing pools, like, fish cutting DIY, as you can see from the pictures, with this special, it's called four finger thread fin fish, okay, or like oyster, farm picking up and afternoon tea experience, in a very like decorated environment. But it's an oyster farm, and you can taste very fresh oyster while you can enjoy, the whole tea afternoon tea sets, and or a very cozy romantic sunset culinary experience on the rooftop of an old house. Okay, enjoying fresh seafood and the local way cooked. So, in a sentence, more local, more cultural, deeper connected with the community will be more unique and valuable. So, this part we talk about the unique. We talk about placemaking, local revitalization, and DMO. That is to encourage the travel agency to go to the content creation, okay, instead of the sales channel only. So when you have the sales channel to the direct customers, and at the same time you have very good content that's operated by yourself, then as a travel agency you are not only buying things and sell things, you are creating things, creating values. And this is the perfect timing to go to the countryside, to go to the corner, of the villages of Taiwan, everywhere, and to start up that kind of like content build up works. Okay. So now let's get into the number three concept. It's called the big, and we want to talk about some, very mature OTAs, local ones, and the giant, some traditional travel agency or online travel agencies. First of all, Asia Yo. So this is a local OTA that used to focus on B&B sales and booking. And before pandemic, it's doing very well between Taiwan and Japan markets. So after pandemic, Asia Yo has to find a way out, okay, because the international tourists have been stopped, right? So it has some new strategies, and that was really helpful to make Asia not only survive but also earn more. Okay, so CK Cheng, the founder of Asia, was interviewed by the media recently and have this report saying that their sales, their revenue have been times more than before pandemic time. So that was amazing, because we imagine that OTA might be the someone that was the hurt the worst during this time, but Asia was not. So what did he do? Okay, first of all, quarantine hotel. This is like super hard demand by those people coming into Taiwan, coming into the border, right? So 13 nights booking. That was a huge order. So Asia works with quarantine hotel to make booking easier for those people coming into Taiwan. And it was a big business. Okay, so suddenly it has its growth, increased. And also Asia turned very proactive to work with the government. So before pandemic, it's kind of like a very, private sector mindset that's doing its own business, dealing with the customers, with the market, with suppliers and investors, except for governments. But after pandemic, Asia and some other similar companies, they changed their mindset and start working with the government, not only for the subsidy. Okay, so subsidy, that will be something to pour resources into its booking for sure, but the attitude toward the private and public sectors will have it, strategically positioned in a better place so that they can have, some influence over the future policy to be more digital, to be more innovative, to be more global. That's the second one that Asia win over the pandemic. And the third one will be something that I really appreciate the most, that they offer more choices on the platform. So before pandemic, just like what I said, it's focusing on a B2B, can we call it Minsu, business, right? But after pandemic, they start to kind of like detect, to find out more detailed need and detailed demands from the consumers. So for example, when we're having our pet, okay, on the tours with us, and we have no way to know if that hotel or that B&B would accept my dog, my cats, right? So they can have this kind of like, tag. If you can accept pets, cats and dogs and some other animals, then you can have that tag on your hotel account so that people can find you. And also, apart from the pet hotel or minsu, we have motels. We have other like very 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 special, like we call it confinement center. For women after giving babies care, and this is not a hotel, but this is kind of like one of the hospitality industry. So HRO works with some new, category hospitality industry, and to put them onto the platform and to be diverse. Okay, so more choices on platform also helps a lot. So to wrap up HRO, I think it's just become more nimble, more flexible, and very fast in detecting market demand, and that will be something to overcome the crisis. And the other one that has performed very well, it's called FunNow. So FunNow actually it specializes in-city vacation, in-city experiences, in-city, tours or activities. So, for example, some of their best-selling products include they use room booking, okay, or late check-in room booking, or like massage, hot spring, haircut, or some special dining experiences. And because it's an instant booking, so when the people, not only tourists, okay, but also those people living in the city, they suddenly have this, this need, this rush, to relax and to have fun. Then they turn on, they open a fun now, and they can use instant booking to have their service ready just in 15 minutes. Okay, so that's what it specializes in. And during the pandemic, of course, because the pandemic break out in the May, and it hurts Fana a lot. But during that time, they are also using some creative or some new marketing campaigns to keep their popularity and to do the delivery things during the time. And so the recent interview by their founder, uh, in August and September, okay, their sales have been back around 80 to 90%, just the same as what April and May performed. So it's coming back very soon. And during this time, they're also using some accelerating events, thematic events like meat festival, okay, for people love eating meat, a hot pot festival for people to embrace the wintertime hot pot experience. They use this kind of event to arouse the market and find the customers back very soon. So recently they have been invested. Okay, it's their B round investment, and it's 15 million US dollars investments. And what's interesting is that in the past, their investment come from VC, okay, venture capital. But this round, there are some CVC, like corporate venture capital, including PC Home, okay, the biggest Taiwan local EC, electronic commerce platform, PC Home, and KK okay, the other big one we will be introducing shortly. Okay, so corporate plus corporate in terms of the investing and collaborational model, that would be the adding value thing. Okay, so for fun now, I think its best strength is that they are really insightful of the city users of the market in their area. Okay, in the metropolitan, in the city, urban areas, they are very understanding, what they need, so that they can be very creative and very fast in fulfilling, okay, their need, their demand. Nice Day, this is one of the earliest tours and activity platform, and it was focusing on kind of like indoor experiences, DIY, cooking class. It's more like quiet. It's more indoor products. Okay. in the startup world, uh, the company, the enterprise is already always changing its managing policy. So the founder of Nice Day sold Nice Day to a technology group around like 5 and 6 years ago, but recently Nice Day to be acquired by the other experience platform, and it's a global platform. Okay, so Nice Day is now having its new owner, having its new investor, and we can expect Nice Day, when it's lasting longer, it might have some other niche products provided, especially after pandemic. Okay, so Nice Day is something that we can keep watching. So of course, KK Day. So I think KKday has a lot of good decisions and good strategies over the pandemic time. And one of their strategies that I was impressed the most is that they try to sell everything sellable, okay, during the pandemic time. So global tourists for sure, okay, were their most important customers and income. But right now, KKday has to, based on their advantage over those online users, over those young travelers, young backpackers, with this space, they have to try selling different things, try selling different ideas or dreams to them for these young online users to kind of like reimagine their vacation life. So KKday has souvenirs, they have some agricultural products, and also they are doing different things that I'm going to introduce to you. So let's keep watching KKday as well. So Lion Travel, um, uh, Taiwan's biggest travel group, and it lasts over uh, 40 years. It's a old brand, but it has a lot of new and creative, and I would say very cutting edge um, try of their policy and developments during these years. So in the very beginning of the pandemic, Lion Travel has heavily invested in their restaurants. Okay, they have a restaurant called Ghana Eat. So they expand the Ghana Eat restaurants to the department store, to different areas, and to do the delivery, services. So that is one. They want to define themselves not only as a travel brand but also a lifestyle brand. And this year, I also witnessed some of its very smart, strategies. For example, they um, closely work with government. They used to work with the government very closely for a long time, for sure. But this year and last year, that was kind of like more like turning point for them to get deeper into the government collaboration system. For example, 明日 Train. So this is basically owned, before by the train bureau of our governments. Okay, it's a public train, it's a public transportation system. Okay, owned by the government, but government outsourced this 明日 Train to the private sector, and Lion Travel won the bidding and start operating this 明日 Train with its own resources and its own products. So it's kind of like what I just said. Travel agency can turn into the content creating, content operating instead of selling the products only. So 明日 is now circulating Taiwan Island and to connect with a lot of local tourism products and mini tours and place making concept implemented in this project, and it's getting very cool, very interesting, and aiming at high-end customers. Okay, and the other one about Lion Travel is that it started, it's different, I would say, strategic headquarters, okay, from North America, because the Western world is opening its borders, and it's more, flexible, more fast to the pandemic situation. So it has its managers and some of its strategic employees to North America and to start doing more business for their Chinese tourists, for their customers in North America, and try to kind of like using the Taiwan's resources and to combine with the North America with the West world. That's the second thing. And the third thing, what I understood is that they are trying to make their managerial team, okay, younger, so they can promote those their employees, under 35 or 30 years old to maybe like assisting general manager level, so that these young people could have better, options over the management policies, and their opinions will be heard, and that would really, cater for the users nowadays. So they are like more flexible, more new to the new policy. Okay, so that's land travel, and we hope to keep watching land travel's developments in the new phase, in the new era. The other big one is called Cola Tour. Cola Tour is strong in B2B sales model. So it sells its product to the other travel agency for their agent to help selling Cola Tours, products to the customers. So it's rely on this B2B system before. But after pandemic, that might be something very challenging for Cola Tour, because during this time, a lot of middle scale or small scale agencies, they have been shut down, or they close, or they are turning to new businesses. So after pandemic, when the borders are open, whether Cola Tour would have that much, partnerships to rely on like before pandemic, that would be a question mark. So what I see is that Cola Tour is very strong and specializing in doing local tours, group tours. So they try to use different price segment strategy to keep their domestic customers and try to slowly turn into direct sales. So for example, I have heard some very low price group tours. So maybe like 20 US dollars per day, and you can get on the bus and to the destination. You can have a meal, you can have a few experiences there, but it's very cheap, right? So they're not having profits out of those groups, but they're having their popularity and their customers over these, sustainable group business. And Easy Travel, one of the, I would say, top leading OTA in Taiwan. It just remains its digital capability, working with the unicorn Apier to implement their digital marketing system to keep Easy Travel continuously performing very well on hotel booking and some other tour booking. So Easy Travel, it's over there, and it remains a very good situation. Okay, so after the big, let's talk about some rich drivers for high-end market. So first of all, we have Argo Yacht Club. So Argo, this is a yacht a production group. So it has its own yacht, it has its own harbor, and it's building different harbor plus hospitality plus shopping, or I would say that is kind of like resorts, project around Taiwan. So its headquarters is in Tainan. Okay, that's a historic and cultural city. But you can imagine, like outside of this city, there is a vocational resorts, and it focuses on the high-end customers. And it's a totally like new harbor with a lot of different functional living facilities over there, and it's very cool, very cozy, very chic. So this is how Yacht Argo, it's building up its business after pandemic. Well, if it targets those high-end customers, their membership card costs over 70,000 US dollars per year, but a lot of people flocking to become their members, and it's growing very fast. So from the first season, their financial report, we can see Compared with the last year, it has over 33% growth. This is Argo, and they are now building up their new harbor, their new resorts in Penghu, in a lot of new cities in talks. And the other, the rich thrivers, for example, like Fine Day. So Fine Day is actually KKDay's new brand. Okay, so KKday focuses on those online users, backpackers, for a certain group of, mass tourists. But Fine Day focuses on high end. Okay, well, Fine Day has cooperation with the other, I would say it's a travel startup. It's called Curators of Travel. Okay, it's a travel agency, travel planning company that's also aiming at high-end customers. And these curators of travel, what they can do, how luxury their products might be. There's one example. The founder told me that they can even rent out the France Paris Louvre Museum, the plaza. Okay, they can rent out that plaza and host some gala dinner, some events over there. And of course, in the hospitality sector, we have Hoshinoya Guguan. Okay, it's in central Taiwan. It has around 40 rooms. It's not too big, not too small, but it's kind of like far to reach. But it has its branding. So, over 700 to 1,000 US dollars per night. Okay, it has its base of customers. During the May and June this year, because of the breakout of pandemic, right? Most of the hotels decreased their price, okay, in order to survive, right? So by the time I was thinking like maybe I can check out Hoshinoya Guguan and see if it has lower price, maybe I can go there, having an experience by that opportunity. And I surprisingly found that they are not decreasing price. Instead, they are remaining or even higher their price. Okay, so through these examples, we can have this conclusion. The high-end markets always have opportunity, always have space. It's not about, consuming power. It's about whether you can provide that high quality, for these suppliers, for these services, to be consumed by the customers, whether you can fulfill high-end customers' need, even during the pandemic time. Okay. Number 5, the tool. Okay, so we're talking about the techniques to empower travel businesses. So what kind of tool we have here? Okay, the other one about KKday. In its group, it has a new brand. It's called Razio, and it's actually a PMS, product management system, especially for the experienced supplier. So as we can see, in terms of the flight tickets, in terms of the hotel, we have very mature OTA, very mature digital connecting system. So a lot of like channel management, a lot of PMS companies have been there doing good business. But in terms of local experiences, because too many reasons, okay, it's too offline and it's too fragmented, and there are too many details that are complicated to be digitized. So we are lacking this kind of PMS system to help digitalize local experiences. While KKday has its huge base of local suppliers, they want to help these suppliers to do better business. So they invented this Razio system. So you can use this Razio, okay, pay by month. Okay, it's a SaaS model. You can use this Razio system to create your own official website. Okay, so as a local supplier, I have no money to find the engineer to do a beautiful website, and so usually I have to receive the calls, receive the messages to handle my orders. So Razio provides that kind of technology for the local experience suppliers to easily reach the target audience and to have that cash flow online. So I think that's a smart move for KKday to do Razio so that it can complete its ecosystem. And the other one is Tripresso. So Tripresso used to be we call it meta search, right? Meta search platform for outbound travel products, especially those group tours. Okay, and so because the travel agency has similar products everywhere for the customers to find, number one travel agency, number two, number three, and to compete. That was very complicated and costing time. So Tripresso using the meta search to integrate these group tour products onto its platform for people to easily choose, easily compare. So it has its traffic. And before pandemic, Tripresso has already launched. It's called TripSAS. So it's another ERP system for travel agency. So same thoughts. Okay, it has its customer base, it has its suppliers, and it wants to complete ecosystem. So it uses ERP TripSAS to help travel agency to do better connecting works with the other B2B contacts. And also at the same time, Tripresso has EBS, Employment Beneficial System. It helps its travel agency supplier to connect with those corporate clients. Okay, we call it MICE, right? MICE group, corporate clients. So that corporate clients, they can use this EBS system to book product directly from the travel agency. So it doesn't have to be paperwork, calling, discussions, a lot of very, very complicated works. So after Tripresso, after EBS, Tripresso Group, it has evolved again. Okay, it has its new brand called Commit. So Commit is I would say the total solution for not only the travel agency, not only the travel businesses, but also the corporate side to solve their problems and their demands when they are facing some technology problems, especially about the lifestyle, about the living, about the travel and vacation, etc. So Commit is now a technology company that's helping even wider customer base. The last one, but not the least one, for the tool to empower the supplier, we want to introduce the 2B, okay, 2B, 2B Hospitality Management Company. This company starts from running its own B&B. Okay, so they have very on-site and very down-to-earth practice experiences in B&B operation. So after that, because of their technology DNA, their base, they invented new system to help other B&B to calculate the best price in a certain timing. So that was an automatic technology system. They can collect information, by the certain time from their neighbor B&Bs, from the market price and the data from the OTAs, and to precisely having a best price to be displayed on OTA and the channels so that customers can find you easily. All right. So it helps those small B&B owners to, you don't have to pay, too much money to build up your own digital marketing campaigns. You can rely on this system to have good price and to have good exposures so that small B&B in the local areas rely on this, system to survive and to get their customers. So this is what 2B was doing. And so what I want to say is that they start from their own B&B, okay? And then they have suppliers of B&B everywhere. And then they will even get more progress in technology to not only calculate the price, not only gain the exposure, but also they can have good advice for the B&B owners to have good operational strategies. So it becomes another ecosystem. So in this part of the tool, I want to let you guys know that in Taiwan, it's a small domestic market. Well, now we cannot do too big and the global businesses, but from these local, try and error, these practice experiences, I would say a lot of company, maybe big, maybe middle scale, maybe small, if they have technology DNA and some good ideas, then after pandemic, their local practice, their experiences can become the model, and that could be output, to other countries, to other markets for use. So completing ecosystem and practicing will make these tools even stronger after pandemic. Okay, so we've now finished five big trends, more mature, and that was happening. Okay, so now there are three left, and these three are, well, I wouldn't say it's immature, but these three are kind of like the emerging trends for the future. So for now, it's more experimental, and there are players just now entering the market, just doing that. So we can wait and see whether these three trends will be something very popular, mainstream in the coming time. So the first one, the air. So this is what I describe this kind of like online tour. So it's on air. Okay. So we are on the travel, but we are on air. That's what I mean. Okay. So my pro guide before pandemic, it was the platform to connect with tour guides, okay, official licensed tour guides around the world. That was the platform for tour guides to be matched with travel agency. After pandemic, no global business, so it turns to a online tour platform. So you can see from this picture, they have developed quite a few new products in different cities, including Paris, including Tokyo, including Bangkok, including Ho Chi Minh City, Hong Kong, Machu Picchu, Africa, Turkey, etc. So they are now expanding their product line, and what they are doing, just like what we imagine. Okay, they have their local guide there, right? So they use camera, they use some equipments to do the live streaming while they are doing the tour guide on the streets. So people buy the tickets and watch that tour guiding, throughout the camera. Okay, so that was the tour, the online tour. The basis is about that. But after talking with the founder of My Pro Guide, Mr. Joe Wong, he told me actually this is not only about putting your tour guiding online and doing streaming. Okay, there are a lot more. So what's very important is whether this is a good performance, whether it becomes a drama, okay, with good script, with good performers, with highlights, during the whole time, and with something creative and special to let audiences feeling unexpected while they are watching these tours. Okay, and then storytelling is very important. So it's not only the tour guides telling you about the history, introducing the environment, it's a storytelling. So you have to write very good script. And it's also very important to have good equipment, because the fluence over the whole tour guiding online would affect the feeling. Last but not least, destination strength. Okay, you have to have very good branding, um, very good destination choice for people to kind of like, I want to go to this city, but now I cannot go, right? So this destination become the attraction. Okay, that's the destination strength. So I actually joined My Pro Guide online tour several times before, and this is something very interesting. It's a Paris tour guiding. Okay, after the local guide in Paris finished his tour guiding, here comes a show. Okay, there is a violinist and a pianist. They are performing in a studio, of course, with a picture of Paris in the background. So they are performing some French music, okay, some jazz music, and they are using French and Mandarin to interact with their audience. While before that product, they have this optional product that the audience can buy the wine, red wine. and some cooked candies and some small dishes. So that was the dining set. So you can buy the dining set, and you can drink the red wine and eat the small fish, the French food, while you are watching this tour guiding and this show. So it becomes not only an visual experience, it becomes an culinary experience, it becomes a performance, a show, a musical that you are watching. So that was inspirational. Okay, so after watching that, I told Joel that I feel quite touched by joining this tour, and I think this is going to be something that would have market in the coming time. And so if we can imagine when we can uh, go to the world again, when the borders are open again, there might be this hybrid event that on-site, we have on-site audiences, but through the camera, through online tours, we have the other audiences scattered around the world, so that everybody, offline, online, we watch and participate in the tour all together. That hybrid event model would be something we are quite looking for. Number 7, the virtual. So metaverse in travel. I would say this is something too early to, how can I say, commercialized in travel industry. But this technology has been happening, right? Has been popular and people are talking about it. So there is Moment X, okay, that was already launched. So it's an app where users can chat with each other and show off their NFTs in a virtual reality metaverse. So you can search Moment X, and you can find some information, including their founders' interview online very easily. But if you're not, studying metaverse concept too much, maybe it would be kind of hard to understand. But it's interesting to imagine. This company used to do. It's called Tree Moment in the very beginning. Okay, now Tree Moment brand has sustained as well. So in the beginning, they are doing media. Okay, they are reporting destination contents and with some VR contents, and then they build up a real VR store, okay, in Taipei City. So from the picture, you can see like we host events there before. We can invite our friends to experience those VR equipment and try to look over the Ho Chi Minh City from my VR glass, and we can try some very interesting experiences over there. And also they are with that equipment and with that facilities, they are turning into metaverse field. And so I would say this is something very new. Only the early players and experimental model could be discussed there. But Moment X has been on this step. So we can keep watching them and see if metaverse could be something, to define our future travel experiences. And since the ending time is approaching, I have to speed up. The last one, the tech. So blockchain enhancement. Okay, blockchain enhancement. This is the technology that's already in the market and implemented by this OTIN. Okay, OTIN group. The OTIN group, I was kind of impressive, by their speed of expanding. So they are using blockchain as their core technology to develop, a lot of different product and services, including experiences. Okay, so they have the OTIN market for experience tours, and they have the traceable agricultural products, and also they are doing the hospitality business. So they have All Nest PMS, and this All Nest PMS is now proved to be profitable. Okay, so it's a hotel PMS, but by blockchain technology, it's running very well, and it's expanding to a lot of different corners of Taiwan. Well, you can see this chart, for the B&B and hotels in different county of Taiwan. first year and the second year, it has 1.4 times or like 4.1 times, growth. So it's their achievements. And I would say, PMS is the all nest core product to lift up other product line so that it's proved to be profitable. Well, other different services could be something to, be integrated, joined together, to be complete ecosystem, just like what we said. The big remains big because they have resources to invest in innovation, and they have the very good customer base, and they have the branding capability to keep their level over there. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. I hope it could be very helpful for you to understand what Taiwan market is going through, is happening. So the wild, the unique, the big, the rich, the tool, the air, the virtual, and the tech. Okay, these 8 trends are something that we can work together, think together, and see if this timing will happen very soon. If the borders are open, please remember Taiwan. Welcome to Taiwan, the heart of Asia. So this is my presentation. Thank you very much for watching today. Thank you.